If you're an American and you're living in the United States right now and you're looking for a second option, a second residency, another place to call home to escape the destruction of society in America. America is not the land of the free anymore. It's not the America that we knew many decades ago. Now there's a ton of illegal immigrants. We don't know what's going to happen with the elections. Crime is rising. Many issues that I won't discuss here. And you want to leave, you want to go somewhere else. The first country that I recommend, a country that I've lived in, that I've seen many Americans live in very happily, and that is Mexico. Easy flight, easy residency, easy permanent residency, potential to become a citizen. If you have a child in Mexico, and a lot of people think the healthcare in Mexico is horrible. Oh, I'm not going to go there. They're going to mess me up. You can get, as I did a couple of months ago, a full MRI and a full ultrasound on all your stomach to check your pancreas, your kidneys, your stomach, your prostate. You can check everything for $100. A full analysis with no insurance, nothing. You just pay $100. You get a full analysis. See if you have any polyps, absolutely anything. Healthcare is top in Mexico. You can get procedures that you can't in the United States. You can get medicine that you can't in the United States. It's all very Americanized. There's big malls. There's a ton of cities to choose from. If you want a big beach city, you got Cancun. If you want more laid back style, you have Nayarit, Sayulita, Cabo San Lucas, obviously this one everybody knows about it, Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Escondido, Playa del Carmen, Mexico City for a large city, not my preference. I don't personally like Mexico City that much. We have many different options all over the country to choose from. You have development. Yes, you have crime in a lot of cities, but a lot of cities in Mexico are way safer than a lot of cities in the United States. And obviously we have some of the safest cities in the world in Mexico. So Mexico, 100%, my number one pick. Easy flight, easy taxes. The taxes in Mexico, they're not really enforced. So all you have to deal with is with the taxes back home in the United States because you pay taxes based on your citizenship. Now, the second country, also easy for tax. Not that easy to naturalize, but easy for Americans to transition into is Panama. Territorial-based taxation system, meaning that you pay only on locally sourced income, but as an American, you pay it regardless. So you can incorporate a company in Panama, you can pay yourself out a salary from that company, and you're still going to have to pay taxes back home to the United States, no matter what you do. But what you can do is you can combine a corporate setup, for example, in the UAE, with another country that you're living in that's a territorial-based tax system. That's also what you could do. Now, for Panama specifically, very developed, safer in many statistics than Mexico. A lot of malls available, a lot of conveniences available. Healthcare is also top, just like I mentioned with Mexico. People, to a large extent, speak English a little bit more than Mexico in my experience, although I speak native Spanish and always communicate in Spanish. But in my experience, Panama does have a little bit better English level than Mexico, a little bit better education level than Mexico if you're looking for that. And it's definitely great for families. If you have a big family, you want to bring kids to the country where you're moving into and you're a bit afraid of Mexico with the crime issues, with overall the streets might be a little bit chaotic, Panama could be a great second option. If you want to build a big business, you want to do high-level networking, you want to lower your taxes, and you want to simplify your taxes as much as possible, the UAE, although not that many Americans move to Dubai, and the UAE, it's more for Australians, Europeans, Brits. For Americans, it works out very well because if you start a company in the UAE, your tax rate will be 10.5%, which you pay to the United States, a guilty tax. I can go more in detail on US taxes, but if you incorporate a company in the UAE, it pays a 9% tax to the UAE, but it anyway has to pay a 10.5% tax to the US, and those two cancel themselves out. So you're paying a total of 10.5% corporate tax, as well as you don't need to worry about crypto taxes, personal income taxes in the UAE. Back in the US, you still need to pay those taxes, but the UAE simplifies everything for you. Obviously, completely different time zone, but you're gonna meet a different kind of people. In Mexico, hard to meet billionaires. Hard to meet people that are building large businesses, or at least telling everyone that they're building large businesses because they want to protect themselves. Security, privacy. In Mexico, you don't know who's listening. In the UAE, it's more of you can build a giant business. You can show off your lifestyle. obviously it's much safer. Abu Dhabi was ranked as the safest city in the world in 2024. If you're afraid of the rising crime in the United States, you want somewhere where nobody's gonna touch you, nobody's gonna mug you at night, nobody's gonna shoot you because of your race, then the UAE is definitely a great option. If you want to stay in Europe, specifically because you like the culture, because you like the food, because you like the people, Spain and Portugal, I'm gonna put them together because it's the same peninsula, would be the next country that I would recommend. Both offer golden visas, although Spain is taking away its property. Golden visa, they do have a retirement visa. Portugal has the digital nomad visa as well as a retirement visa that you can qualify for as an American. And overall, both two countries with a lot of pockets of Americans all over. In Portugal, you have in Lisbon, in Porto, in the south, you have a lot of Americans that are enjoying the weather, the better quality of life, the longer life expectancy. Spain has a longer life expectancy than the US. The healthcare, in my experience, both Portugal and Spain have great healthcare. Portugal, the crime is increasing slightly in some of the big cities. There has been a lot of crime recently just because of the illegal immigrants that they're letting in and they're naturalizing. And overall, Europe is heading in the wrong direction too, but it's at least heading there slowly. And it's at least for now a very livable place, at least those two, Spain and Portugal. So I would definitely recommend it if you want cleaner air, if you want a society that isn't hustling all the time, that isn't pushing for, oh, money, capitalism, money. If you want more laid back lifestyle, then those two options could work out very well for you. For the next country, a category of countries all in the Caribbean. If you want to leave the United States, but you want to stay close to home, we have the Caribbean islands, we have Bahamas, Cayman Islands, Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Grenada. All of these islands offer some sort of residency by investment or citizenship by investment. Obviously, like me, if you get a citizenship from St. Kitts and Nevis, I used to be an American. I renounced my US citizenship and I became a St. Kitts and Nevis citizen. Now I have the right to live in 15 Caribbean countries. You could do that. You could get a St. Kitts citizenship and then go live in Antigua and then not pay taxes to Antigua. Still need to pay that to the US. But if you want to renounce your US citizenship, you can on your Antiguan, on your St. Kitts, on your Grenada passport, and you can enjoy the life very close to the United States. All of these passports also offer access to Europe. They offer access to other countries around the world. So you're not losing access to the world just by giving up your US passport, and you're staying close to home. Although you can't visit the US on one of these citizenships without a visa, you can at least be very close to family. They can visit you on a 2-hour flight, and you can have a much more relaxed lifestyle. Like I said, with Spain and Portugal, on these islands, you're really living in island time. Laid back, things get done slower. If you want to choose the top out of all these islands, Bahamas, Cayman Islands, and Turks and Caicos. To get residency in any of these, you either need to get a job or you need to invest at least $750,000 US dollars, at least $1 million, at least 1.5 million, large amounts to get residency because they attract high-level entrepreneurs, high-level investors, and you're gonna meet some of these investors. If you don't want to go all the way to Dubai, but you still want to do high-level networking while being next to beautiful beaches in a pretty well-developed place. Bahamas is well-developed. Turks and Caicos, well-developed. Cayman Islands, extremely well-developed. They put a lot of money into creating a beautiful island environment for you as an American or for any nationality to enjoy. Now, the next subsection of countries that I want to discuss is not EU, Eastern Europe. Serbia, Albania, Georgia. Most of these countries actually offer Americans a 1-year tourist visa. Georgia and Albania both offer you 1 year without a visa. You don't even need to get a residency permit. You can go to the bank, open a bank account, although some banks are not opening up for Americans because you need to comply with some stupid laws that the United States has on US citizens abroad and banking abroad. You can at least spend time in these countries like Albania. Albania is extremely open to Americans. I remember going there 2 years ago and people were extremely happy that an American showed up, although I don't look that much American. I'm not white, I'm not tall, I'm not blonde, but they were still happy that an American citizen was visiting Albania. And that's sort of the vibe. If you're American, you're going to these countries, they're probably going to like you. They're probably going to be happy that you're there, as well as Serbia. Serbia doesn't offer a 1-year visa free, but you have 90 days out of every 180 days. And it's a country where I'm a citizen, where you can open a company, you can hire a ton of people, you can invest a lot of money in the country, you can get residency, you can get citizenship later on. So definitely countries to consider where the food is better, the people are better, traditional values. You don't have any of this stupid wokeness and any of these woke values. You have traditional family values. And the last two countries on this list, quite close to each other, are Chile and Uruguay. If you want to venture out into South America, you want to be far from everything, you want a World War III hedge. We're now seeing Iran and Israel constantly bombing each other, constantly threatening each other. If you want to be away from all that chaos and you want to go as south as possible, Santiago, Chile, beautiful city, pretty well developed. The crime is increasing, but overall safer than some cities in the United States. You can open a company in Chile, get a visa through that. And the same deal for Uruguay. Much safer, much more stable. They call it the Switzerland of South America. Overall, a place where retirees are going to enjoy. If you're a retiree, if you're getting older and you're thinking, I want a more relaxed lifestyle, but I don't want to go to Spain. I don't want to be in some island. I want to be in a proper country that is safe and also far away from all the chaos. Uruguay is that place. The only problem is that to get residency in Uruguay, you actually have to spend 6 months there. You can't just have it as a plan B or as a paper residency where you just go 1 day per year. You actually have to commit to the country. Now, there's 2 other countries that a lot of people recommend for Americans that I absolutely do not agree with, and that is Ireland and Malaysia. Ireland, you're just heading to an even colder version of the United States with the woke mind virus, with all these policies, with crime, with illegal immigrants. Overall, you're not getting any value out of moving to Ireland. Yes, you can speak English, but who cares? You can learn another language. You can choose countries around the world, like even Malta, or pockets around the world where they speak English, where they don't have these crazy policies of Ireland and being next to the UK, which is also a complete mess. And in the case of Malaysia, Malaysia is quite hard to get residency. It's not as easy as most countries. It takes longer than most countries, and it's not really that livable. I've been to Malaysia, not my favorite place. Much prefer Singapore, much prefer Thailand. I don't know why people hype it that much. Maybe they have a financial incentive, but overall, I don't recommend these 2 countries. If you want to know what countries to go to get a second citizenship, a second passport to potentially renounce your US citizenship, or just to get another option, you can check out this video right here on the fastest citizenships in the world in 2024 that you can get a second passport in as little as 3 months. Check them out right here.